I just want to travel the world, find exotic creatures and monsters, and then kill them for money. Hello, and welcome to the third piece of OC art I've been planning to do this year. I want to work out what my OC's characters in Dungeons & Dragons would look like. For Janet, I'm thinking she would go for the edgelord fantasy, and that means Tiefling Rogue, which is a class-race combination I'm going to play myself in a campaign starting up pretty soon, so, you know, I mean edgelord in the most affectionate way. For this, I want a very dynamic pose, and one thing I do to find a good inspiration for this is I go on Google, I look up pose reference in image search, and then they've got those tags at the top of the page where you can just click and add different filters to see just one, what kind of strikes your fancy in the moment, and it just helps you click through and find something that works for the piece you're working on at the moment. Since I know that people put a good bit of effort into these, I also rarely trace the pose directly from what they worked on. Instead, I kind of eyeball it as a way of making sure that it's almost never going to be spot on the original, and hopefully it doesn't come off as that, you know, one-to-one, I just ripped someone off kind of thing. You know, if I eyeball it rather than tracing, I can usually make sure it's skewed a bit from the original. Now, all of that said, practice is a great time to intentionally do a one-to-one ripoff, and there's nothing wrong with it, as long as it's between you and your paper and it's just for practice. If the finished image and the image you're pulling from end up looking like the same picture, just keep it to yourself. It's just kind of a general rule for being polite to other people who make things. I tend to be the guy who tries to challenge people who still buy into, you know, that satanic panic thinking about D&D. You know, starting this year with a tiefling might not have been the best way to carry on that line of thinking, but well, we'll move on. As a rogue, I'll have her go for the classic dual-wielded daggers, both held backhand. Obviously, that's the cool way to hold a weapon. And I want to do this up in a combination of styles that I haven't played with in a while. First off, I'm going to do some shading in the line layer. Now ideally, I want to get it to a point where the line work looks almost like a finished image prior to anything I do with the colors. I used to do this style a lot more. I have been trying out other things for a while, but I do enjoy getting back to it. It's a fun style to draw in. Once that's done, I want to stick to various versions of the same color, which in Janet's case means sticking with red. I want to cross the color wheel from the red I was using to this light blue for the base layer of the background, and then put fire and smoke colors over the blue. I also tried to put in this trail of embers, but it might look a little bit like flower petals. I'm kind of not 100% sure how this line of dots is reading, but it does tie the image together well, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. So here is Janet's D&D character. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Please share the video with a friend or several friends, and let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see me draw in a future video. Later, y'all!